Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to share with you color combinations that I use very frequently to paint greenery, leaves that I use in florals, for the bouquets that I sell on Etsy. So these are just some very practical tips, how I achieve maybe more vibrant greens, more bluey greens and eucalyptus, and just create a little bit more of natural colors versus just using paint straight from the tube. If this sounds like something that might interest you, I really hope that you stay for the whole video. I have in the description all the colors that I'm using, and the one that I use for all three is sap green. So if anything, I highly recommend you get this green because it's just a very medium tone. It goes great with almost any color, and you can really use it as a base. The two brushes that I'm using are my round brushes, size 6 and size 2. Not super relevant. I do share a little bit of the shapes that I'm working with, but the main takeaway of this video is the colors that I use and why I use them. Before continuing on, please leave me a comment and let me know how you found my channel. But without further ado, let's get painting. The colors I'm using to paint pathos will consist of sap green, cupric green, yellow ochre, and green gold. I already have them in my palette, so I'll set these aside. Mixing up our colors, I almost always start with sap green. It's usually the base of any leaf that I paint, and all the other colors are more secondary. Right here I have my cupric green, adding a little bit of green gold. And the yellow ochre will come after the placement of the first couple leaves. Pathos leaves are a little bit heart-shaped, so let's start here, pressing down with the brush, lifting up toward the end, starting back at the top, working light pressure, heavy pressure, and light pressure toward the end. Mixing up some more color. Doesn't have to be the same exact combination with every leaf. Now the specific color combination that I've mixed up, I think it's the cupric green, but different paint colors have different granulation, and so you might find that some colors are a little bit smoother, some might be a little bit more difficult to work with, but it's all good practice, especially when you're mixing, so you might run into some different textures that you weren't expecting. I still am working on that myself, so don't freak out, just work with what you got. I'm gonna add a couple lines through here to add some detail down the pathos. And we'll work on another one. This next one, I'm gonna add extra green gold. I'm gonna let it run into this leaf right here. Right there. Let's add a touch of yellow ochre to the mix and add a little to our leaf. You can always use dry brush technique to further add a little bit of details here. So I'm soaking up just a little bit of that paint on this last little leaf down here, and I'm going to paint one more leaf at the top. Next, I'm going to go through and paint the stem, working from top to bottom. For further practice, I'm rinsing my brush, and once again, I'll show you each color for the pathos individually. So basically, a little color swatch. Right beside it, we have sap green. If you add more water, it dilutes it and you'll be able to see those different values of that color. So that's sap green. Cupric green is next. This is a very fun color to paint with. Right underneath, it's so intense in the best possible way. More water. So pretty. Next I have green gold. And yellow ochre. We'll leave our pathos practice there and move on to some eucalyptus. For eucalyptus, the colors that I'll be working with: sap green, cerulean sky blue, turquoise cobalt, and carbon black. Like I said, sap green will be my base. And secondary colors mixing in, we have cerulean sky blue here. Turquoise cobalt is this bright blue one. And a little bit of carbon black. All right, we have our paint mixed up. And if you painted with my other tutorials on YouTube, you do know that I have a eucalyptus and herbs painting, so we've painted with these colors before. Let's start right up here at the top with our first couple baby leaves. Creating circles. This eucalyptus is inspired by baby blue eucalyptus. So there's lots of different variations and types. I'll add a little bit more blue to my mixture. Oop, that was a lot. So let's mix some of those other colors in here to get it a little closer to what we had. Let's throw some in there. Last couple here. Okay. Let's finish off with the stem. Adding a little bit more of that black to the mixture. We'll start at the very top, just drawing a very thin line through some of those areas. I'm grabbing a touch more water. Finish up the stem at the bottom. Okay, there's our eucalyptus. Let's go through and break down the colors. Sap green, cerulean sky blue, turquoise cobalt, and carbon black. I am moving to my size 2 round brush from Princeton. We have another 4 colors from MaimeriBlu for the pine needles: sap green, burnt umber, primary yellow, and faience blue. Very light, quick strokes with that small round brush. Mixing up the colors as we go. watering down my mixture, just a little bit of water on the brush. Let's mix up a little bit of primary yellow and burnt umber for that stem. Let's leave our pine branch there and break out the colors for you. Sap green, primary yellow. You can see I still have a little bit of green in my mixture, so this is not a pure primary yellow by any means. But you can see it does create a very similar effect to the green gold, so if you don't have green gold, you can easily mix it up with the sap green and primary yellow. At least something pretty similar. Burnt umber, and Faience blue. Alright, so here are all the colors that I very commonly mix up to paint my greeneries or my leaves. Anytime I'm painting florals, these are combinations I use all the time, and the common denominator is my sap green. So I use this basically, like I said, for my base for all of my greens, and I mix and match these other secondary colors to get some really fun combinations and add some vibrancy. I rarely use any paint straight from the tube. It's just a little bit more boring that way. Why would you not want to mix up and have some fun experimenting with different colors? Please let me know if you found this style tutorial helpful, if you liked kind of the breaking down of the color mixing, or if you like just getting straight to the actual painting. If you're interested in shopping any of the colors that I have, I always do leave links in the description. Makes it really easy for you to reference to anything that I use today or anything that I use in any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to paint with you again. Bye!